Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yeah, Pinocchio Week still continuing, and it's almost finished. One more review, and after that, the next day, one more reaction video, so yeah. But anyways, so, for the last review for Pinocchio Week, and the last Pinocchio film that, I'll be reviewing is, of course, actually, another Pinocchio film from Disney, and actually, it's a TV movie from the wonderful world of Disney. I got my tongue stuck. That's right. Not titled Pinocchio, but it's instead titled Geppetto. Yeah, so Geppetto. This was an interesting film, I should say. And, for any of you guys are familiar, because, the wonderful world of Disney, like, sometimes they had, they would air, they sometimes aired TV movies, like this one, and I also know, and most notable one, the Tower of Terror. Yeah, another thing, why are they not on Disney Plus yet? I don't get it. Like, some of those Disney TV movies, like these two, come on, But anyways, so Geppetto, I thought was pretty interesting, and it was okay. Like, okay, this wasn't that great, but I'm sure there are those that thought it was okay, so anyways, so basically, yeah, this whole TV movie is a musical, basically. There are song numbers, just no matter what, like, there would be a song number, just everywhere, like, it almost, like in every scene, almost, but the cast of, okay, first off, before I get to the cast of characters, let's start with the story of first. The lonely woodcarver, Geppetto, gets his wish for a child of his own, granted when the blue fairy brings one of his marionettes to life. However, being a parent is not as easy as he had expected. So yeah. And of course, very different from, like, say, the animated Disney Pinocchio film that we all know so well. It's totally different. But there is one thing, like, okay, obviously, because Geppetto, it has original song numbers. However, a little bit of what was in the animated film, like the music and song numbers are in this. Like, you can hear a bit of When You Wish Upon a Star. And of course, when it comes to Pinocchio performing, for Stromboli, putting on a show, he is singing "I've Got No Strings on Me." That was very nice, but unfortunately, there isn't, like, say, Hi Diddly Dee, An Actor's Life for Me, or Give a Little Whistle. Another thing about this is there is no Jiminy Cricket, no Honest John or Gideon, or, say, the coachman. I mean, technically there is a coachman, that takes Pinocchio and the kids to Pleasure Island, but okay, there's just a coachman. We don't see the coachman, you know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. Or I don't think, say, we get a Lampwick as well. So, yeah. We do get, like, say, well, obviously, Geppetto, Pinocchio, the Blue Fairy, and Stromboli. We did get a cat, but I don't think the cat's name was Figaro. At least I don't think. And nor did I think, say, we got a fish. Cleo, that is. Even if it wasn't Cleo, and if it was just some other fish character, we still didn't get a fish. And another thing is, Geppetto's house is also a shop in this. Like, kids coming in and getting, like, picking out the toys made by Geppetto. And there's a song number during that. Yeah, and the song numbers, because, they're not really memorable, and I can clearly see why they're not memorable, Like, if anybody would remember some of the song numbers. I mean, there were two song numbers I thought that were okay. And I thought they were fine. And that is, like, say, the Blue Fairies, like the Blue Fairy, her song, like that she sings, to Geppetto, just because it's magic, that, and also Stromboli's song. And by the way, I think one of the highlights of Geppetto would have to be, say, Brent Spiner, aka Lieutenant Commander Data, as Stromboli. Yeah. Brent Spiner playing Stromboli, oh my gosh, that is awesome. And not to mention, fun fact, Pinocchio would be one of the inspirations for, for Brent Spiner developing the character of Data, like, as he's playing the role of Data. Pinocchio was one of the inspirations for Data. Yeah, so Brent Spiner Stromboli, I thought he was... I think he's so enjoyable in this because he's Brent Spiner. Who doesn't love Brent Spiner? The rest of the cast of characters, obviously. Geppetto, being played by Drew Carey. Julie Louis-Dreyfus as the Blue Fairy. Seth Adkins, am I saying his last name right? Yeah, I think so. As Pinocchio. The late Renera, however you pronounce his last name, I'm so sorry. AKA Odo from Deep Space Nine. He's in this too. Then there was also Usher. He played the ringleader. Wayne Brady. He was the magician. That actually, because that was like a setup for Geppetto in one scene. The magician was part of what the Blue Fairy was doing to teach Geppetto a lesson or something of, and then and Anna Gasterier, am I saying her last name right? She was in this too. And apparently, like, there was this one sequence, like, it was a long sequence and a long song number. I'd say the longest song number in this, and which had Odo, Renee. Like, Geppetto enters this village where, it's a very happy-go-lucky village. The kids are behaved well, and, everybody's getting along and having a great time. As if that's something we wish would happen, would exist. No hard feelings, but, and, like, basically, because Renee, he plays this professor, and he basically has a machine that could just instantly create children. And, Geppetto tells the professor that he's looking for his son. And, the professor has a solution to, create a replacement for Geppetto, a replacement for Pinocchio, or, that, as Geppetto's trying to describe what Pinocchio looked like, It's kind of strange, I guess you could say. I won't lie. It's, I won't deny saying that. It is kind of strange. And even I think, Geppetto finds it weird. And by the way, like, say, the makeup for Pinocchio, well, I watched this on YouTube, and just a little bad quality. This was released on DVD, but I watched it on YouTube, and I guess I can kind of tell, like, the makeup for Pinocchio on Seth Adkins is fine, he's there on screen and he's got makeup on to, make it look like he is a wooden boy. And of course, like, God, like, Brent Spiner, because, Stromboli is a villain, and gosh, Stromboli is, I think, the main focus, like, the main antagonist of this, and he's just, no matter what, even say if Pinocchio is on his way to Pleasure Island, Stromboli will stop at nothing to, get Pinocchio, and for Pinocchio forever to be Stromboli's entertainer and main star, of course, Geppetto, another thing is, like, earlier in the film, Geppetto was kind of hard on Pinocchio, and, at one point grounding him, and Pinocchio was kind of out of hand, especially when Pinocchio was on, at his first day at school, and he, was kind of attacking one of the students, and actually, I think, that one boy that Pinocchio was fighting at school was a young Anton Yelkin. Yeah, the late Anton Yelkin, a.k.a. Chekhov. Like, he was in this, and God, he was quite young when he did this. This was in 2000, so, but anyways, so, Yeah, so yeah, man, Geppetto was just so harsh on Pinocchio and like saying, maybe you should go maybe you should go on and live with Stromboli. And boy, did I'm sure he obviously regretted saying that because that's what Pinocchio did. But of course, in the end, and even when say, you know, Geppetto and Stromboli, they're trying to get Pinocchio and they're at Pleasure Island. Well, in the end, you know, uh Geppetto and Pinocchio are reunited, but of course, however, very later on, you know, they get they're in the whale, of course, Monstro, Geppetto, and Pinocchio, and of course they do escape from Monstro and back at Pinocchio's house. Well, I should say Geppetto's house. Getting mixed up. Stromboli is there once again, and just even when Geppetto's trying to bargain Stromboli and convince him, like, no, Stromboli just wants Pinocchio. He still wants Pinocchio, but that's when the Blue Fairy once again comes in and, really can't help Geppetto, but, she doesn't like Stromboli. And actually, yeah, that's another thing. Geppetto and Stromboli, they get to see the Blue Fairy in person. That's great. Unlike, say, any other, like, adaptation of Pinocchio, especially the animated Pinocchio film. Yeah, and, like, the Blue Fairy using magic to attack Stromboli. But at that point, that's when Pinocchio does become a real boy, and, Stromboli just, is kind of upset, and, what do I need with a real boy? And, just the Blue Fairy scaring off Stromboli. We can work something out. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And it does end on a happy note, of course. And, yeah, so, I will say that, this was pretty interesting. And it's interesting that, yeah, because this focuses a lot more on, say, Geppetto. And yeah, especially because we don't get that much of, say, what Pinocchio's doing. Okay, we get, say, him performing with Stromboli. And another thing is, Stromboli, he's a bit kind of crazy as well, because his puppets that he has, and, like, he's got a little puppet sidekick, he's, Stromboli's performing them, but it's like, they're talking back, and it's like they have a personality of their own. God, because Stromboli being kind of a nut, because thinking that the puppets are alive. Well, you get my point. He's like, is he unaware that he's performing them? Like, you get my point. And another thing is that sequence I mentioned where, Geppetto is at that village, like, this was like right after he got there, right after, say, Pinocchio went on the carriage, to Pleasure Island, and even after Geppetto left the village, Pinocchio hadn't made it to Pleasure Island yet. It's like, shouldn't he? I literally was like saying to myself, questioning, shouldn't he have been there by now? Because Geppetto was, for how long Geppetto was at that village? Well, that's just how the movie is. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, because that was a long song number, and being in the village, you get my point. Wow, just wow. But with all that being said, how do I rate Geppetto? Boy, that's a good question. I mean, okay, I understand, yeah, it wasn't that great, and for me, I thought it was okay. It was and okay, I'd probably give it, say, yeah, it's okay. This is about good, sorry, 5 stars, five stars. So 5 out of 10 stars for Geppetto. I don't think it was that bad. I thought it was okay, as I said. And what about you guys? Have you seen Geppetto? What do you think of it? What did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review a like, as always. So again, 5 out of 10 stars for Geppetto. And, well, in conclusion, with all that being said, technically, it's, the Pinocchio week has come to an end. However, there will be one more reaction video tomorrow of, reacting to something else Pinocchio, and it's a YTP, so stay tuned for that. But it has been fun, like, say, reviewing, a handful of Pinocchio films, those that are animated and live action. And of course, as you know, today, Disney's live-action Pinocchio film has officially arrived, and I look forward to watching it. And yeah, definitely. And as you're watching this, like, yeah, I am of course going to watch it today, and I'm sure you guys are too if you have Disney Plus. And I look forward to hear what you guys have to say about the live-action Pinocchio film, as I'm sure you will look forward to what I have to say about it, and when I eventually review it. So I look forward to that. But with all that being said, it's been fun, doing Pinocchio week, and until I do something else, of whatever week it'll be, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed Pinocchio week, and for what I've reviewed, more reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. Take care. Peace out, and remember to always wish upon a star. Your dreams will come true.